911 operator fired after hanging up on multiple callers. Like, who becomes a 911 operator, and hangs up? My nigga, are we dead? Like, you have to be evil as shit, my nigga.
Miss Williams, step away from the console.
Excuse me, I'm working.
The logs say otherwise.
And?
The system glitches. A mother tried calling 3 times. You hung up 3 times.
I just didn't feel like working.
Stand up right now.
I just didn't feel like working. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you, my nigga? I just didn't feel like working. What?
I didn't feel like working that day. That was Bxndzgocrazii Williams, 23 years old, 18 months on the job as a 911 dispatcher for Harris County, Texas. And in that moment, sitting at her console on the 5th floor of the Emergency Communications Center on Travis Street in downtown Houston, she had just admitted to failing a family in the worst way imaginable. What investigators had uncovered in the weeks leading up to this confrontation was a pattern so callous, so indifferent to human suffering, that seasoned detectives struggled to process it. 47 emergency calls over 10 months, medical emergencies, domestic violence, car accidents on I-10 and the Katy Freeway, each one answered by Bxndzgocrazii Williams, each one disconnected within seconds.
What?
But it was the Williams calls, 3 desperate pleas from a mother trying to save her 4-month-old son, that would send this case to trial, to
trying to save her 3-month-old son, and you hung up 3 times? Bruh, send her ass to jail.
national
Get
news,
the fuck on.
and ultimately to
There's
a prison
no way.
cell in Gatesville, Texas. 18 months in state prison. A $1.4 million settlement paid by Harris County taxpayers. And a mother who will never stop asking why her son never had a chance because someone couldn't be bothered to do her job. Before we continue, have you ever called 911 and wondered if someone was actually listening? Let us know in the comments. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. Bxndzgocrazii Williams was born in March 1999 in 3rd Ward, Houston. Her mother, Patricia, worked as a dental hygienist at a clinic on Wheeler Avenue. Steady work, decent benefits, home by 6 most nights.
Okay.
Her father, Darnell, drove long haul for Werner Enterprises, hauling freight across Texas. He was gone 2 weeks out of every month, sometimes 3. She was the middle child. Older brother Darnell Jr., younger sister Keisha. They shared a 2-bedroom apartment off Scott Street, cramped but clean. The AC window unit ran all summer and barely kept up with the Houston heat. Patricia kept the place spotless, but 3rd Ward was 3rd Ward. She was pretty. Everyone said so. By middle school, she'd learned that being pretty opened doors. Teachers were kinder. Boys paid attention. Girls wanted to be close to her. She never had to try hard at anything. Things just worked out. At Jack Yates High School, she
just privilege, just flying through life.
Floated through the social hierarchy without effort. Homecoming court junior year, prom court senior year, an Instagram following of 2,000 before graduation. Impressive for 2017. She posted selfies, got likes, got comments, got the attention she craved. Her teachers were less impressed. She was bright but easily distracted, one wrote. Another noted strong verbal skills but inconsistent effort. A third observed she was more interested in social life than academics, and frequently on her phone during class. She graduated in 2017 with a 2.4 GPA and no particular plan for what came next. College lasted 1 semester. Houston Community College, fall of 2017. She enrolled in general studies, thinking vaguely about business or communications. She stopped showing up by October, stopped responding to emails from her advisor by November. It wasn't for me, she told her mother. What followed was a string of retail jobs that never stuck. Forever 21 at the Galleria, 3 months. She quit because the manager had an attitude. Ulta Beauty in Memorial City, 4 months. She quit because she was tired of standing all day. A brief stint at a call center in Greenway Plaza, 6 weeks. She walked out mid-shift because a customer raised his voice. She was 20 years old, living at home, making $9 an hour when she bothered to work at all. Her mother was running out of patience. "You need a real job," Patricia told her. "Benefits, stability, something you can build a life on." In early 2022, Crenshonda saw a posting for the Harris County Emergency Services District. 911 dispatcher. Starting pay, $17.25 an hour. Full benefits. Pension eligibility after 5 years. She applied online, mostly to get her mother off her back. 112 people applied for 8 positions.
112 people.
She passed the written exam, passed the background check, passed the drug screening, passed the psychological evaluation. The evaluators noted she was poised under simulated pressure with strong communication skills and a professional demeanor. One wrote she demonstrated appropriate empathy during role-play scenarios. Another observed she appeared motivated and engaged throughout the assessment process.
Okay.
They offered her the job in February 2022. She started in March. 6 weeks of training at the Harris County Emergency Communications Center on Travis Street in downtown Houston. She learned call protocols, CAD systems, multi-line management,
Stella.
radio codes, crisis de-escalation techniques. She learned how to keep a caller calm while dispatching an ambulance, how to guide a panicked parent through emergency procedures over the phone, how to talk someone through a medical crisis, how to stay on the line with someone in distress until officers arrived, how to be the voice between chaos and rescue. She learned that when someone dials 911, they are almost always experiencing the worst moment of their life, and she would be the first person they reached. On April 15th, 2022, she was assigned to the 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. shift. Station 7, console facing the east wall, headset, dual monitors, a laminated quick reference card, a direct line to every ambulance, fire truck, and patrol car in Harris County. She was 22 years old. She was responsible for lives. For the first few months, she did her job. The Harris County Emergency Communications Center serves 4.7 million residents, the largest county in Texas and the third largest in the United States. On any given shift, 187 dispatchers work rotating schedules across 48 consoles in a facility the size of a football field.
Shit.
They handle an average of 8,200 calls per day. Medical emergencies, domestic disputes, house fires, cardiac events, car accidents on I-10 and the 610 loop, and the Katy Freeway and Highway 290. Missing children, suspicious persons. Welfare checks on elderly relatives who haven't answered the phone in days. When someone in Houston dials 911, they reach this room. The people who work here are not paramedics. They are not police officers. They carry no badge, no gun, no medical kit. They sit at a desk with a headset and a screen. And yet, they are the first point of contact between a citizen in crisis and the help that might save their life. They guide panicked parents through emergency procedures. They keep distressed callers talking until officers arrive. They dispatch ambulances to medical calls and pray they get there in time. It is a job that requires focus, empathy, and calm under pressure. The system was built on one foundational assumption, that the person answering the call would actually listen.
Exactly. Like, you should, like, bro, going into this job, there's no way you went, like, you did perfect. They damn near say you went perfect. You did everything great. How the fuck do you just come this nonchalant once you get the job and just like, don't give a fuck? You think they not gonna get ready you quick? You see how hard it was to get in there, all that shit you had to do? Like, what?
That they would stay on the line, that they would do their job. The system did not account for apathy. The first documented hang-up came on October 14th, 2022, 6 months into her employment. 7:47 p.m., Crenshonda Williams at Station 7. A man calling to report a fender bender on West Park Drive. 2 cars, no injuries. He just needed to file a report. I need to report an click. Call duration, 4 seconds.
Are you dead ass?
No callback, no documentation, no dispatch. The caller eventually drove to a police substation to file the report himself. Crenshonda Williams went back to scrolling Instagram, her phone propped against the monitor. It was such a small thing, A fender bender. No one was hurt. No one would ever know. Within weeks, the hang-ups became a pattern, a system. Calls she deemed not worth her time. Fender benders, those were easy to dismiss. Noise complaints, not real emergencies.
What?
Callers who sounded intoxicated. They'd call back when they sobered up. Women who sounded hysterical. Someone else could deal with them.
What?
She developed a method. Answer the call. Listen for 2 seconds, maybe 3. Decide. Hang up. If the caller dialed again, someone else would pick up. Not her problem. Her colleagues noticed she had the shortest average call times on the floor.
Like what?
Station 7 was clearing calls faster than anyone. No one questioned it. Short calls meant efficiency. Efficiency was good for the metrics.
Yeah.
Her supervisors noted in quarterly reviews that she met minimum call quotas, but was not particularly engaged. One wrote that she seems distracted at times but maintains acceptable performance metrics. Another observed she could benefit from additional mentorship on caller empathy. No formal complaints were filed. No disciplinary action taken. The red flags were there. Nobody looked. Between October 2022 and August
That's
2023,
crazy, bro. How did nobody wanted to look into like the fuck she like? Okay.
10 months, Crenshonda Williams hung up on 47 emergency calls. 12 were classified as medical emergencies, cardiac events, diabetic episodes, a woman experiencing a medical crisis in a grocery store parking lot.
That's insane.
8 were domestic violence calls, women calling to report that they were in danger. 1 was hiding in a bathroom closet, whispering into her phone. 14 were traffic accidents. Cars flipped on the highway. Pedestrians struck in crosswalks. At least 2 involved serious injuries. 7 were wellness
Bro.
checks. Family members worried about elderly relatives. Neighbors who hadn't seen the woman next door in days. 6 were classified as other. A gas leak. A suspicious person outside a daycare. A child who had wandered away from home. Each one a person in crisis.
Bro,
Each one
do you
trusting
hear
that when
all
they
of
called for help,
these?
someone would answer. Someone would listen. Someone would send help. Each one heard a click.
Awaken to a world
That's
of
so
wonder
disrespectful.
in
my nigga,
Final
on
Fantasy
so many
XIV
levels.
Online.
Then silence. August 12th, 2023. A Sunday. Houston summer. 94 degrees and humid. Denise Williams was 28 years old. She lived alone with her 4-month-old son, Jalen, in a 1-bedroom apartment on Westheimer Road near Montrose. She worked as a pharmacy technician at a CVS on Kirby Drive,
Okay.
$16.50 an hour, just enough to cover rent and everything a new baby needs. Jalen's father was not in the picture, had never been in the picture. It was just the 2 of them. That evening, around 6 o'clock, she put Jalen down for a nap in his crib.
That's what I'm
He'd been
saying.
fussy all
Insane.
day, not eating well, a little warm to the touch. She thought he was finally settling. She went to the kitchen to heat up some leftovers. At 6:14 p.m., she checked on him. Something was wrong. He wasn't responding. He needed help immediately. She grabbed her phone, hands shaking, dialed 911. 911, what's your emergency? My baby, he's not okay. Please, click. Call duration, 3 seconds.
That's fucking crazy.
Crenshonda Williams at Station 7, logged in the system as accidental disconnect. Denise stared at her phone, tried to process what had just happened. She dialed again, 14 seconds later. Ma'am, 911, please, my son, he's 4 months old. Something's wrong. I need an ambulance. Please. Click, 5 seconds. Same station, same dispatcher. Logged as caller disconnected. She dialed a 3rd time, screaming now. One hand on Jalen's tiny chest, trying to remember what to do from a video she'd seen once. She didn't know if she was doing it right. She didn't know if it mattered. Please, someone help me. Click. 2 seconds. Crenshonda Williams had hung up on a mother, desperately trying to save her baby.
That is
3 times in
fucking
75 seconds. Then she went back to
bro.
her phone.
What type of evil do you have to be to do some shit like? Do you not hear that on the phone? Like, are you fucking insane? Like, bro.
phone. Denise's neighbor, Marcus Holloway, heard screaming through the thin apartment walls. He pounded on her door, found her holding Jalen, sobbing so hard she couldn't speak. He didn't ask questions. He grabbed his keys. They drove to Memorial Hermann Medical Center, the Texas Medical Center campus,
Oh
8
my.
minutes away in Sunday evening traffic. Marcus ran red lights. Denise held Jalen in the back seat, pleading with him to hold on. But too much time had passed, over 20 minutes without proper emergency response. At 6:58 p.m., the
Oh.
doctors delivered the news no parent should ever have to hear. Jalen Marcus Williams was gone, 4 months old. The medical examiner's report noted that outcome may have differed with immediate emergency intervention. If an ambulance had been dispatched on that first call, the one Crenshonda Williams ended after 3 seconds, paramedics could have been on scene in 4 to 6 minutes. Proper medical care could have been administered. The outcome might have been different. Instead, Denise Williams rode to the hospital in the back seat of a stranger's car, praying for a miracle that never came. She would later testify that she kept hoping Jalen would be okay, that she couldn't accept what had happened, that she held him for 2 hours in the emergency room before finally letting go. September 2023, a routine quarterly audit. Quality assurance supervisor
That
Terrence
is
Mobley was
fucking
reviewing call
insane.
metrics when he noticed an anomaly. Station 7, an unusual concentration of calls lasting under 5 seconds, far more than any other station. He drilled down. One dispatcher accounted for 71% of all sub-5-second calls over the previous 12 months. Crenshonda Williams, 47 calls. Average duration, 3.2 seconds.
What?
That wasn't efficiency. That was impossible. You couldn't verify a caller's location in 3.2 seconds.
3.2 seconds.
You couldn't assess an emergency. You couldn't do anything.
Bro,
Mobley
what
pulled the
the
audio files.
fuck?
Every 911 call in Harris County is recorded. Every single one. What he heard made him physically ill. Caller after caller. Mid-sentence. Mid-scream. Mid-plea. Then silence. My husband is hurting me. Please send someone to... Click. There's been an accident on the freeway. I think someone's injured. Click. I can't feel my left arm. I think I'm having a... Click. And then the Williams calls. A mother's voice, rising from confusion to panic to desperate screaming. 3 calls. 3 clicks. A family's nightmare on the other end of the line. Mobley forwarded the files to his
What
supervisor
the
that afternoon.
Fuck.
Internal Affairs was notified within the hour. The Texas Rangers were brought in the following day. Crenshonda Williams was placed on administrative leave on September 19th, 2023. 2 days later, she was brought to the Internal Affairs Office for questioning. Investigator Raymond Gaines and Texas Ranger Pauline Vickers were waiting. They played her the audio, the Williams calls, a mother begging for help. Her own voice, bored and flat, before each disconnect. The system glitches all the time, she said. Calls drop. It's not my fault. They played it again. Her voice. 911, what's your emergency? Then the click. Long pause. I didn't feel like working that day. They asked about the other 46 calls. She shrugged. Sometimes I just didn't feel like talking. September 18th,
What the fuck is your... Like, how does your brain operate like that? The fuck you mean you ain't feel like working? Or you ain't feel like talking? What?
2023, 2:22 p.m. The day before the formal interview. Crenshonda Williams at Station 7. First hour of her shift. Iced Starbucks on the desk. Phone face down beside the keyboard. Headset draped around her neck, not on her ears. Internal Affairs investigator Raymond Gaines walked across the floor toward her station. Texas Ranger Pauline Vickers beside him, both in plain clothes, both with badges visible. Every dispatcher on the floor watched. Crenshonda Williams, Gaines's voice was flat. Step away from the console. She looked up, rolled her eyes. Excuse me, I'm working. 47 hang-ups, your log-in, your headset, your voice on every recording. Arms crossed, neck rolled. And the system glitches. Calls drop all the time. Vickers stepped forward. A family lost their baby. Mother called 3 times. You hung up 3 times. Crenshonda's jaw tightened. She looked away. I didn't feel like working that day. Stand up, now. She was escorted from the communications center in handcuffs. 31 colleagues watched in silence.
Imagine,
Badge confiscated. Access card deactivated. Console locked. At 4:47 p.m., she was booked at Harris County Jail on Baker Street. Charges: 2 counts of interference with emergency telephone calls, normally a misdemeanor, elevated to a state jail felony due to the resulting tragedy. 1 count reckless conduct. 1 count dereliction of duty. Bond was set at $100,000. Her mother posted 10% through a bondsman the next morning. The state of Texas formally indicted Crenshonda Latrice Williams in October 2023. The trial began February 12, 2024, at the Harris County Criminal Courthouse on Franklin Street. Judge Catherine Okonkwo presiding. 23 years on the bench, known for being fair but unsparing. Assistant District Attorney.
like, if you know this is not for you no more, you need to tell them that, bro. You need to quit and be like, yeah, this is too much for me. I can't handle this. I thought I could. Whatever the case may be, you just gonna, like, do you not know this is like, you're literally hanging up emergency situations, my nigga. How is that not clicking?
Michael Treadwell for the prosecution. 15-year veteran of the office. He had a 4-year-old daughter at home. Public defender Simone Ashford for the defense. She argued systemic failures, inadequate training, a broken system that allowed one dispatcher to hang up 47 times without triggering a single flag. The prosecution did not need arguments. They played the audio. The jury heard the Williams calls on the first day of testimony. Courtroom silent. 12 jurors in the box. Denise Williams in the gallery, clutching a photograph of Jalen. 911, what's your emergency? My baby, he's not okay. Please. Click. Several jurors closed their eyes. One wiped her face. They heard the second call. The third. A mother screaming into a void. One juror requested a recess. The judge granted it. Denise Williams took the stand on February 14th, Valentine's Day. She held a photograph of Jalen in her lap, the only photo she had of him smiling. I called 3 times, she said.
That's what I'm saying. All those other jobs she quit because of this, and that, but this one you wanted to keep and just but bullshit with it. This is the worst one you could have bullshit with. The worst. You could have bullshit at retail job stocking and shit or something. Not putting the milk in there or something. Doing something like, even though it's still wrong, but like, you dead ass just killed a child, bro. Like, that's insane. Like, do you hear the levels of that? You killed a child compared to not putting milk on the shelf or something. Like, bro, what the fuck? Like it's just not clicking. It wasn't clicking.
3
Like,
times.
I don't understand.
And she hung up while my baby needed help. Tears now. I did everything right. I called 911. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what they tell you. She paused. I will never know if he could have been saved. If I had just driven to the hospital myself from the start. I will never stop asking why. The defense had no cross-examination. There was nothing to ask. The jury deliberated for 47 minutes. 1 minute for each hang-up. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing was handed down on March 8, 2024. Judge Catherine Okonkwo addressed the defendant directly. Ms. Williams, you were entrusted with the most sacred responsibility a civilian can hold in our society.
You feel me?
To be the
Like,
voice
look,
between
bro,
crisis and rescue.
Like, the only other shit that really does compare to this is like doctors and shit like that, bro. That's saving the lives, the cops and all that, bro. Like, you're literally the first step. If you don't do your job right, the rest of the people can't do their shit. The cops, the ambulance, the fire truck, like, nobody else can do their shit if you're not doing your job right. That's 47 calls. Like, oh my goodness, that is insane. They said one was trapped inside the bathroom with their husband, banging on the door. She's whispering for help. What happened after that? We don't know. And that's just one.
When a citizen dials 911, They are placing their life in the hands of a stranger. They are trusting that someone will answer, that someone will
Oh
listen,
my
that someone will
goodness.
send help. She paused. You betrayed that trust 47 times.
47
You treated that responsibility as an inconvenience. You treated human suffering as an interruption to your day.
Like
A
what?
4-month-old baby is gone
Is
because you, in
gone.
your own words,
Didn't
feel
feel
like
like
working.
working?
She looked at the defendant. The callousness of that statement will stay with this court forever. Sentence: 18 months in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, to be served at the Lane Murray Unit in Gatesville. 10 years supervised probation upon release. Lifetime ban from employment in emergency services anywhere in the United States.
Damn.
$52,000 restitution to the Williams family. Crenshonda Williams showed no visible reaction. She was handcuffed and led from the courtroom without looking back. She reported to Lane Murray Unit on March 22, 2024.
No remorse?
Inmate number 02-174-893. A women's facility 180 miles northwest of Houston. Eligible for parole after 6 months. Expected release, September 2025. The Williams family filed a lawsuit against
So
Harris
she's out.
County in November 2023. The county settled in April 2024 for $1.4 million.
Ooh.
Taxpayer money, no admission of liability. As part of the settlement, Harris County agreed to implement new monitoring protocols. Supervisors now receive real-time alerts for any call disconnected under 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Call duration patterns are reviewed weekly instead of
Yeah.
quarterly. Dispatchers must document a reason for every disconnection. Denise Williams has not returned to work. She moved out of the apartment on Westheimer Road. She couldn't stay where everything happened. She attends counseling twice a week. She has declined all media interviews except one. She said only this: I did everything right. I called for help. I trusted the system. And my son is gone because someone didn't feel like doing her job. Crenshonda
like,
Williams will be released from prison before Jalen Williams would have celebrated his 2nd birthday.
That's insane.
She will serve less than 2 years for what her actions cost a family. Stories like this don't get the attention they deserve. If you want to see more accountability coverage, subscribe and hit the notification.
Bro, that's just... How does one's brain operate like that, bro? How do you be a 911 operator? You know what the fuck you're doing, and you hang up some of the most craziest calls of all time. Granted, you're not supposed to hang up any, obviously, but like, you just killed a 4-year-old, my nigga, on a, like, that was